We now know who will be playing in Super Bowl 59. We got a rematch in which started the Chiefs dynasty. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going against the Philadelphia Eagles. I won't discuss the matchup at length. I'm going to save that for my Super Bowl predictions video, but I do want to talk about the major storylines coming out of championship weekend. Before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment your thoughts, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. Let's jump into the video. Let's start with the Eagles and Commanders game. If the MVP award didn't have quarterback bias, Saquon Barkley would hands down win this award. Saquon has made this team drastically better, and when you think about it, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. And I'm happy for him that in his first season in Philly, he's got a chance to get him his first championship. And speaking of the Eagles' Super Bowl appearances, this is going to be their second in the last 3 years. That's an incredible feat for any team, unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs, who are just the anomaly in all this. But I like Philly's chances this year. No one's been able to stop Saquon. I like what general manager Howie Roseman has done with this roster. Drafting well, you get Mitchell, Cooper DeJean in this past year's draft. You draft Jalen Carter a couple of years ago. And then you combine that with the leadership of both Darius Slay, CJ Gardner-Johnson, alongside Blankenship and Sweat. There's a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. And it's going to be tough for any team to crack that unit. And my final takeaway for the Eagles side of the game, I want to give credit to Jalen Hurts. He was facing some scrutiny coming into this week, along with the season as a whole. There were questions all week long regarding whether or not this passing game was going to be able to be efficient, and they were. When it was necessary, Jalen Hurts was able to get the ball to his playmakers, not only in crucial moments, but being able to have that balanced attack. That way, the defense couldn't solely commit to stopping the run and Saquon. Now, coming out of this game, and most importantly in the Super Bowl, can Jalen Hurts in this passing game remain consistent? Because the biggest knock on them is that 1 week they look normal, they look like the offense we saw 2 years ago. And then in these sporadic moments, we see them struggle to get the ball to AJ, Devontae, all these playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Can Jalen Hurts figure out a way to stay on time? One thing I noticed from Tom Brady's analysis was that Jalen Hurts struggled to get the ball out in less than 4 seconds. And that definitely can be an impact. And we've seen that happen because just in the Rams game, we saw him take some sacks that took them out of field goal range. But moving forward, he's going to have to be consistent because the talent is there, and it's just a matter of him making sure that he gets the ball out on time. On to the Washington Commanders. They beat themselves this game. 4 turnovers, all that inopportune times. Not only did it extinguish the momentum that led to scoring drives by the Philadelphia Eagles, putting them behind the 8 ball all game long. Looking at Jaden Daniels, I thought he was solid. He was one of the lone bright spots, and the moment never looked too much or too bright for him. However, this is a team game. Look at that Commanders defensive unit. They got steamrolled. The biggest question coming into Sunday was whether or not the Washington Commanders run defense could keep Saquon at bay. Instead, they were not able to do any of that. He ran for a 60-yard touchdown on his first touch of the game. The secondary, led by Marshawn Lattimore, did not have a great day. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, they had their way with them. They were able to get to whatever point they wanted on the field and made plays to put the team in scoring position. And now we can look at Washington's future. They had a great year. Jaden Daniels is the franchise quarterback. No questions. No doubts about it. But they got to put a better team around Jaden Daniels while he's in his rookie deal. The defense was up and down. I like the defensive line. They had a couple of injuries throughout the year, but they will have to address the secondary and tighten up there. The O-line could be improved, along with potentially getting a better running back. I like Brian Robinson Jr., but maybe you could get more of a spark there. And now I want to see another weapon alongside Scary Terry. Can you get a prominent wide receiver 2 and or maybe a tight end 1? Congratulations to Jaden Daniels, and I look forward to seeing more of his success in the future. And then we get to what was the game of the night. The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Buffalo Bills 32-29 to reach their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Before I get to KC, I want to talk about Josh Allen. And I mean this with no disrespect, but we got to be consistent in our conversations about quarterbacks in the league right now. Josh Allen deserves just as much critique and criticism as Lamar Jackson. In the playoffs, Josh Allen is 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes. However, in the regular season, he's 4-1. So that tells me that when it matters most, Josh Allen has yet to pull through. I rock with Lamar, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. He has not been as successful in the playoffs compared to the regular season. And I understand it's not popular because Josh Allen has balled out. He's put his team in position to win. So their stories are a bit different, but we've always criticized athletes on whether or not they're able to get over the hump. And that's no different for Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and even Joe Burrow to a degree. I know he beat Mahomes in Arrowhead and made it to the Super Bowl, but there's still pressure on him to get over the hump as well. Both Lamar and Josh have had different levels of success in the postseason. Both deserve to be critiqued because of their level of greatness, along with the expectations we have for them. Elsewhere for the Bills, this season proved that James Cook is at the very least a top 10 running back. He played well all season long, and then primarily in this game, I thought he looked excellent. If anything, he should have been on the field more, but I understand that the Bills have this rotation that they've run all season long, getting Davis and Johnson out there. But maybe this is a game where you could have thrown that out the window because James Cook was balling in both the run and pass game. As for Buffalo's future, it's similar to both Joe Burrow and Lamar and those respective teams. The Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, they got to go into the offseason, retool, and come back stronger and hungrier. At some point, Josh Allen is going to get over the hump. It is just a matter of when it's going to happen. On to KC, we got to start giving Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes their flowers because this is one of the all-time head coach quarterback duos. And for opposing teams where you think you have them dead to right, you really don't, because KC knows how to win these one-score games, and they show it time and time again. It wasn't a vintage Travis Kelce game as we got last week against the Houston Texans, but they did such a phenomenal job of getting everybody involved. Xavier Worthy had his best game of his career thus far, along with Hollywood Brown, D-Hop, getting some crucial catches and gotta have it moments. My boy Juju, he had two massive plays that led to the Chiefs putting points on the board. And then Kareem Hunt was able to be efficient enough on the ground. And I can't forget about the O-line. That unit was scrutinized the most coming into this game and just in general all season long. They had their best game of the year. They did not get penalized a ton, and they gave up, I believe, 2 sacks. Let me address the refs and the cheating allegations, because I'm not gonna lie, it's getting corny, and you guys are just trying to take away from the greatness that is the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at the stats, that KC offensive line was the 6th most penalized unit when it comes to holding penalties. And yes, the Chiefs were one of the least penalized teams all season long, but let's think about it, guys. It's not because the refs are cheating, it's because this team is well coached and they're disciplined. And when you know how to win, you don't make silly mistakes that cost you the game. And then let's talk about the Josh Allen 4th down call that a lot of people are disagreeing with. It was a tough call, but in the end, I thought the refs got it correct. When you look at the replay, Josh Allen's body went over the line of scrimmage, but you never see where the ball is. And every time we have these reviews, we always look where the ball is relative to the body, because we never saw the ball clearly, emphasis on clearly, get across the line of scrimmage. It's short. And I'll leave it at this. Rather than trying to diminish the success that KC has had, it should be appreciated and celebrated, because they're on the cusp of making history and completing the three-peat, something that's never been done in the Super Bowl era. That level of greatness we may never see again in our lifetime. And then on top of that, I was talking to one of my good friends from college, and I thought about it. The Chiefs damn near are playing 2 Super Bowls every single year, because the AFC is stacked with quarterback talent. Last 3 seasons, to get to the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes beat Joe Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen. And we can all agree, in whatever order, those are the big 4 of quarterbacks right now. So you got to give credit to this team. I can understand wanting to see someone new win. I love so many of the quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, eventually, someone's going to have to beat them. And to close this recap, I want to talk about what a three-peat could mean. For one, it cements them as the greatest dynasty of all time, because we had the Patriots dynasty, we had the Steelers, Green Bay in the very beginning, the Niners and Cowboys, but none of those dynasties were ever able to complete the three-peat. If Mahomes gets a three-peat, one, that's going to be his 4th ring, and then likely yet another Super Bowl MVP, having the three-peat on his resume would respectfully put him in the GOAT conversation with Brady. If you guys made it to the end of the video, don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button. Till next time,